so they should release the new version of Fantastic Four.
Shut up. That doesn't work.
Shut up.
Damn. Jordan gets serious quick. He's not even laughing.
I'll screw around with Fantastic Four.
JD knows what's up.
Just flying around, rainbow trailing, rainbow. Flame on!
Hot stuff coming through.
Oh man! Yet they're still all related.
Politically incorrect Fantastic Four.
No, it would be equal representation. You have the flaming torch. You know, Sue could be a lesbian.
I cause the one because it's invisible.
No,
she's a lesbian while she's invisible.
I don't even know, man.
This shit just got escalated.
Wait. So what's the thing?
You don't want to know.
Hey everybody, welcome to That's Alt, a show where a group of movie geeks get together and discuss movies. I'm your host, Brian McBalls, and we've all been to the theater where at some point an idiot comes in and ruins your experience. So this episode, we will be talking about our preferred movie etiquette practices and our best and worst movie experiences. With me today, I have JD.
Hey, what's up?
We have Jolden Wade.
Jordan Wade. Hey, hey.
And we have Alex, the Boss Nest Monster.
What's going on?
And let's go ahead and start with the first question. I want to ask you guys, what is the most important rule or etiquette that you like to see enforced in the movies? Alex, why don't you go ahead and share with us yours?
Well, the thing is, I feel that movies are for everybody. Everybody should be able to go out and, you know, enjoy some of those cinematic adventures and all that stuff. But I feel that there should be age limits to certain movies, and people need to enforce them. Like, I understand people have kids, and, you know, you still want to be out there and live your life. I mean, that's cool, but you shouldn't be bringing like a 5-month-old to like the most rated R movie at like 10:30, 11:30 at night, you know, because what was that? I remember we went to one movie theater and the baby just would not stop crying, and they wouldn't take the baby out the theater. It's like, go to the bathroom, change his diaper, put a titty in his mouth, something, you know. And it's just like,
Just pop it out.
you just whip that. It's dark. We can't see it. Nobody know.
Just whip it
You know,
out.
people do other stuff in theaters nobody cares about. You know, this is natural. You know, but do something. It's like get a pacifier, something. But it's like they will sit there and let the baby cry, and it's like during key parts of the movie. And it's like, I remember when I was like about 3 or 4 years old, my aunt was going to take me to go see Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. So all my cousins, we all went. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get see Freddy in the movies. And they would not let me in. And my aunt, I remember she raised hell at the theater, causing a big scene because they wouldn't let me in.
God.
But like nowadays, you got to bring a baby in there, and it's like no problem, you know. So I feel like they really need to like stop that. And then people want to know, you know, why kids grow up crazy. It's like 'cause your first, you know, months on Earth, you were watching some dreadlock alien rip heads off. You know, it's just like, you know, I had Sesame Street. You know, you got, you know, Rost aliens. I don't know. You need to cut that out. No babies in theaters.
Jolden, how about you?
Yeah, well, if you're gonna ask me, I'd have to say talking during a movie. Like, I'm not saying like, hey, you know, or like asking a quick question. I mean, I don't want talking, period. But like these long-winded conversations, like a couple, like usually not usually, but sometimes I'll be next to like a teenage couple, and I'll be like, well, so and so did this and so did that, and it'll be like this conversation for like 30 minutes. I'm like, this. It's not a time or place. It's not like a talking forum. You come in to sit down and watch a movie. I don't need to hear about your, you know, your friend sleeping with your boyfriend and stuff like that. I don't need to hear all that stuff. I'm here to watch, you know, The Master or something like that. I'm here to watch
The Master.
The Master, yeah.
Teenagers are talking about that during Master?
No, but it's a good example regardless. I can falsify stuff if I want to.
You know more about their intriguing story than the one in the movie. You're like, hey, finish that story. What happened with Josh?
Yeah, right?
You know, he did what?
Well, did he finish?
How are you, JD? You got any pet peeves?
Oh man, you know, went to see went to see a movie just last week, and the people behind me, they were the loudest eaters in the world. And I'm not talking about like chips in the corner, because I can understand chips in the bag, that's okay. But they were shaking up the whole box of Raisinets, and you were like, hey, you want one? I'm like, really?
Like they gotta pack the Raisinets, like.
Yeah, there's the two that's stuck in the far corner, just
Playing the game of boggle and shit.
it was bad. And it's just the last couple kernels in the bag of popcorn that just bothers the hell out of me.
yeah.
It's the part, when the cat and the dog, and they finally meet up with the boy, and it's a key pinnacle point where they all come together, and all you hear is I'm like,
Loud
it's
eaters,
over.
man. I would have to say mine, I recall watching Dark Knight Rises. It's a dark movie. It's a lot of,
It's in the title.
Yeah, exacy. I mean,
Yeah, it's
implied.
it's a dark movie. There's a lot of black in that movie, and the theater's dark. You know what I'm saying? The color black. And so, you're in the pitch black, and then all of a sudden the dude in front of you pulls out his Galaxy S3, and it's like blows you away. like I'm like
lightsaber beaming
I'm like blinded momentarily. I miss that.
It's like a sun, it's like rising,
It's like at the end of the Two Towers when fucking Gandalf rides up and puts up that light. It's the same shit,
Guy raised his phone at the same
Gandalf
time.
is holding up his S3.
blinding the orcs. But yeah, no, that's got to be my thing. And then you also got people whose phone rings, blah blah blah. But the screen, I think, is really underrated when it comes to movie etiquette.
Yeah.
Now that brings us to the next thing I want to talk about. And we're going to talk about our worst movie-going experiences, like most annoying, or just where some dude interrupts the movie utterly and completely. JD, let's start with you. What was your worst encounter?
I know Lord of the Rings 1 was, fairly drawn out.
There's something down there.
Now, and this is just coming back to my head. I remember it was me and my girlfriend at the time. We're sitting, and we were like, all right, let's try getting into this. Let's watch the movie, and all you hear in the background, dude was out cold, snoring. I'm like, can someone wake him up or something?
When did this start? Like how long into the movie?
Like maybe 20, 30 minutes into the movie.
Oh man,
When everyone started walking.
right.
You sleeping during Hobbiton, man?
Yeah. That was the worst. I was like, all right, nobody wanted to wake him up because that dude looked like a Snorlax in a suit. just sitting there.
You sure he was asleep? He could just been awake and just been.
He was trying to breathe, maybe. I don't know.
That dude probably needed help. He had sleep apnea. Dude was gonna die.
How about you, Joel? How about you, Jolden?
For me, I've had several, piss poor movie going experiences, but probably the worst for me was when I saw Wedding Crashers, and it was like opening night, and I like going opening weekend for films just because I want to experience the opening weekend. But I found that like raunchy comedies or like very popular comedies, it's not the best time to go because you got people that just don't understand how to interact with funny films. And so for the most part, people laugh and stuff like that. But you had this one guy in the audience who felt he had to add on his own joke on top of their jokes. And it's just like you're not a writer for the film and you weren't casting this film. I don't need you adding in stuff like case in point, like when Isla Fisher reveals she's she's like in love with Vince Vaughn.
I always knew my first time would be on a beach.
First time? You're a virgin?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jeremy, we're gonna be so happy together. I love you.
I'm sorry?
I love you.
And he says, "Oh, she's a clinger," and he's like, "No, dude, run!" And like nobody in the theater laughs, and it's like that was like his first time. It's like, okay, you should know not to go, but it just he kept going. Like after everything, he just kept on having some sort of like punchline afterwards, and it did not work. And I'm like, just stop. But nobody said, "Hey, dude, shut up!" It just kept going on.
Or
so.
that's what she said line after.
Well, thank God that hadn't happened yet, because I think he would have probably just been unleashing that just nauseum throughout the whole film, So, but yeah, that would probably be my worst theater going experience.
That's what she said.
How about
I
you?
think mine would have to be, I went to go see The Departed when it came out in theaters. And I remember I didn't know what the movie was gonna be about, but I was bored and had some friends that worked the theater, so they were like, "You can come in and watch it for free." So I was like, "All right, cool, free movie."
When I was your age, they would say we could become cops or criminals. What I'm saying is this. When you're facing a loaded gun, what's the difference?
So I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like one of the youngest people in the theater. And I just remember halfway through it, you know, it was some language in the movie, and I just remember hearing like some kind of like some back and forth like down the road from me. And all of a sudden, like I see this old black man, this old white man, like get up, and they just start going at it in the theater. And I'm like, I'm totally missing the movie, but I'm just like, this is a lot more. And I'm like, how did
People pay for that?
No, because it was like I would expect it from like somebody younger,
right?
You know, but it was bad because I'm like, these dudes had wives with them, and it's like you're old, like you're supposed to be setting an example for people like my age at the time.
Right.
It's like, you know what? You really gonna brawl in a movie?
They're like going for tit for tat.
Yeah, they were like swinging
to a pay-per-view event.
Right,
All the time.
Had my phone had like video record on it at that time, you know, it would have gone on World Star or something like that. It would have been like on YouTube.
Mills
like,
Lane was running in, you know.
Like, it was the worst and most awkward fight ever. It was just like over nothing, and then cops came and all types of stuff. But it was funny because right before that, I was in line to get some food, and there was a woman in front of me, and I remember she asked to get butter put on the nacho chips of her nachos. So that pretty much set the tone for my evening. Like, it was just all bad. Oh man, I almost threw up right there on the spot from that.
But that brings up one thing. Like, what about like bad movie going experiences that actually end up being funny, or like they end up being a positive or something like that? Because I know I've heard you talk about. You know, Alex and you and Jernell have like some crazy experiences.
I would say, well, I'm gonna give you my worst, but it was also funny.
Okay.
My worst was, this was way back when I went to see Dragonheart. Was it like 96?
Good
97?
Lord, that's a long time ago.
I was a young lad, and you know, we're watching Dragonheart, great movies. You know, get to the end of the movie, you know, Sean Connery, dragon's dying. It's a sad pine.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, a 30-year-old movie. You know, it's been spoiled. And so, you know, Sean Connery's dying, and it's a real sad part in the movie. And then all of a sudden, you hear like lots of commotion in the back. There's a large, robust man being escorted to his seat, and he's got like two dudes carrying trays of snacks in. I'm like, why is he coming with all these snacks at the end of the movie? So he sits down with all these snacks, and he just starts laughing at the end of Dragonheart. Like, there's nothing funny going on. It's just
the credits rolling.
What kind of laugh was this? Was it like a
he's like, bah, bah, like everybody's like, what the is going on? Like Sean Connery's trying to die in peace. You know, he's trying to go to the stars.
It's a year.
Everybody's like, what the is going on?
You're just trolling the audience.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it didn't make sense to me. This day, I'm baffled.
Does it wake you up at night?
Yeah, I always think about it. You know,
So you're like,
I'm like scarred for life.
Sean Connery, no.
I can't watch that movie without thinking of that guy. Like, you know. So, well, I mean, how about you guys? I mean, it was funny and bad, but you know, do you guys have any experiences that turned out to be funny and enjoyable for you?
Yeah, actually, I did. I remember I went to go see like Stomp the Yard with a bunch of friends. Yeah, it was.
If we're gonna have any kind of shot at nationals, I'm gonna need you to teach all of us some of your moves.
I've never seen stepping like this before.
It was the same theater though. It was free. I didn't pay for it. I didn't enjoy it. But no, like,
it wasn't good for you.
That was the end of the story. That was the worst.
No, we were in the movie theater and like we're all sitting, you know, because Chris Brown's in the movie, you know, acting debut, and you know he's online pop locking, you know, serving up some dance gangsters,
some
and
high
stuff.
kicks.
And I guess one of the dancers got real salty. And at the end of the movie, at the beginning of the movie, the Chris Brown's crew, they win the little dance off or whatever, and the guy they get into a fight, he pulls out a gun and shoots Chris Brown. And like all the girls like, no. And I hear a dude up in the higher rise, yes! And like the whole theater lost it. I missed the first like 10 minutes of the movie because I was laughing that hard. And it's even funnier now because of what's happened recently. So
Right,
like,
right.
It just keeps adding on to that factor.
It's
right
the
there.
joke that keeps giving.
Yeah, it's the endless joke.
Chris Brown getting shot. I'm gonna have to see this. Go. What's your short?
Like an experience.
Yeah, an experience that you, an interruption that was enjoyable from the audience.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. There's nothing I'm gonna be able to bring this in the top. Like I'm curious to hear more about yours. To be honest, I can't bring anything that would top what you two thought.
Well, there was this one time where you get into the theater and the audience gels so well. Like I don't know, it was just a perfect audience.
Yeah.
Everybody was in the same mood. I think it was the day after tomorrow that Roland Emmerich film. And anyways, we're watching this film, and no one's into it. Everybody's like, "Yeah, this is kind of bad." So about like 1/3 into the movie, everybody's cracking jokes. Everybody, like the whole theater, is interacting and doing this. And probably the most memorable one. I mean, there was a whole bunch of jokes cracked. I can't even remember the experience this whole night. But the best one was when it's getting cold in the north. People are fleeing the south. They're going to Mexico.
Right.
So the Americans are going to the Mexican border, and the Mexicans are stopping the Americans from crossing the border. And then you hear, we live in Texas, obviously. Viewers should know we live in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
And we have a large Hispanic population. You hear some Hispanic guy in the back go, "Revenge!" So I was like, that was just great. That made our night. It made that movie enjoyable.
I have one that I'm sort of ashamed to say I kind of caused the distraction. So like I'm the one that I caused it, but I made the mistake of knowing going into the Happening. Like, you've seen The Happening, right? M. Night Shyamalan's Happening. That movie wasn't intended to be a comedy, but everybody knows it's a comedy. Like that movie is just funny. Well, I knew going into this film that it was that bad. And so immediately as the movie starts, like everything is just funny to me because I know this movie is not going to be something that can be taken seriously. And people are turning around and getting mad at me because I'm laughing during it, and I feel bad because I'm totally against that. Here I am, inciting the whole thing, So I'm doing everything I preach against. But like as time goes on, there's like this group of girls sitting in front of me, and they start laughing at stuff too because they realize how ridiculous everything is, and it just kind of starts spreading like a plague. And suddenly everybody is just laughing like toward the end because you get to the part where they're running from nothing, and everybody's just realizing how ridiculous this film is.
And you were audience member 0.
I was audience member 0. I had the virus and I spread it. So that's probably the closest thing to like a bad movie going experience. But I knew it was great to begin with. But I caused a bad movie for other people, so I'm patient 0.
You got anything similar to this, JD?
A whole bunch of my friends, the Ultness group, went to see the sneak preview of Paul. Place was packed. Total darkness. There's a scene in the movie where Paul's about to die. Real quiet. Everyone's really glued to the screen, and you see Paul just start fading away, and in the background, all you hear is, "Oh no!" Whole crowd lost it. The girl next to me couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. Mike couldn't stop laughing. We couldn't. It was unstoppable throughout the whole movie.
I think another bad one I had was we went to go see The Watchmen. It was like me, Kelly, and some other people. We all went to go watch it, and we went to the IMAX, so we were like stuck in the front row.
Oh no!
And I was like, damn, my neck was already like still had to stand up like this. And then
be happy that it wasn't 3D.
Dude. The worst part was the movie's going on, and it's Mr. Manhattan, or Dr. Manhattan. I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, he turns around, and I'm saying, "This is IMAX." I look up, and there's like this 8-foot-tall giant fluorescent penis, like right in my face, and it's just like I'm like, I can't turn because
you're just still looking at it.
And I'm like, it's like that wide. I'm like, did it move? And it's like,
and it's shaking with you.
It's just following me, and I was like, I can't watch this. Like, put some drawers on. Like, everybody has a costume. Like, I understand you trying to distance yourself from humanity, but you were human, and it's no. Okay, no 8-foot fluorescent rave dicks on TV. Like, I don't want to see that, and it disturbed the hell out of me. Like that whole movie, it messed up the whole movie for me. I couldn't watch it no more. Like I was just like, man, this sucks.
I can see you just like eating popcorn and be like, oh man, where'd the popcorn?
Yeah. That's how I was. I was like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, like, oh God,
I couldn't. It was IMAX. I couldn't turn. It was just because the IMAX screen was panoramic. It was just like It was like Alex, love me, Bruno.
Believe it or not, we had a similar situation when we went to go see Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and the sound wasn't working right. Someone had to go get up and tell the theater attendants or whatever. So we get our friend Felipe to go down there and go tell him. So he goes, tells the people, and he's coming back in. And as he's coming back in, they're moving the projector or something, and the film's kind of off center. And it's at the point where Jason Segel's penis is dangling, towards the beginning of the movie. And it's dangling right on our friend Felipe. Like, we're just looking and we're like, oh, shit, there's a penis on him.
Jason Segel is really teabagging him.
Yeah, you got Jason Segel's penis on you, bro. I got another one, too. Mike was there for this one. It was when we saw the Batman Begins. We saw it in IMAX when it first came out. So anyways, we're watching this, and we're at the point where Liam Neeson is telling Bruce Wayne about justice. They're talking about justice and why, League of Shadows trying to, achieve justice.
Right.
And all of a sudden power cuts out. Everything goes black, movie's off. And everybody's like, oh, and then at this point I go, we want justice! And then, they all just start laughing about it. And I remember this too. Our friend Ujabi, also known as Chuck.
It's not Chuck known as Ujabi. He's Ujabi known as Chuck.
Yeah. Anyways, our buddy Chuck Ujabi, he runs up to the front there's like a bar, and he acts like he's Jack from Titanic. I don't know, it's just random.
Is it the same theater?
Yeah, it was that same day because the movie was off. There was nothing to do.
Why the hell not?
Yeah, like
King of the World right now.
King of the World. So
that dude taking a dive door 9.
Oh man, yeah, we got advanced tickets to go see movie 9.
The Sackboy movie.
Yeah, the dark Sackboy movie from Little Big Planet. And I remember we had to sit almost in the nosebleeds at the top of the theater, and we're sitting there. It's packed. It's hot as hell. So it's feet and rodeo in there and stuff. And this dude comes up the stairs, and he's just got 2 or 3 drinks, nachos, all that stuff. He's just walking he's happy, he's about to sit down and put in some work. It's about to go down. And as soon as he gets, I guess, to almost his row, it just topples like Jenga. It's just it falls, and the first thing that goes to my mind is The Price is Right. I'm just boop, boom, boom, boom. And it was just a rap, and people started clapping at him because he dropped everything and laughing, and he had to take the long walk of shame back, and he comes back with more.
Wow.
The fact that there was a line behind him trying to go up the stairs, and he had excuse me, I dropped all my shit.
Oh man!
I'm gonna bring up a really annoying one. This one wasn't funny to me at all. I practically missed all the dialogue in the Avengers movie, but I had the pleasure of sitting next to a gentleman and his daughter. This is he was probably an older man, probably 50s, 60s, and he is laughing and narrating everything in the film, oh, Tony Stark just said this. I'm like, yeah, no. And even the daughter's trying to tell the guy to shut up. She's like, Dad, shut up. And I'm like, yeah, tell him. And the whole movie.
You tell him, Steve Dave.
Don't shut up.
It was the whole movie. He just repeated every line. He laughed at everything that was said, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? So
2 seconds in the past, and it's all new to you all over again.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, unless you guys have anything else to bring up, I wanted to talk about what rules you think that theaters can enforce that would, reduce this kind of shit going on, But why don't you go ahead and start us off, Jordan? Do you have any ideas?
Wait, I liked that was the European theater that's doing the ninjas, and silencing people and stuff like that. I think that's a pretty good idea. I think that should actually be enforced, in the U.S.
So that, someone's talking something, and then
right,
they send in a ninja to go quiet.
Yeah, somebody that's in complete black, and they just come up and either silence them. I mean, like Alex and I were discussing, maybe you just go ahead and just off them right there. Yeah,
but see that could go kind of bad though, because something could happen all of a sudden. I don't know whose hand's about to touch my mouth. It could get really real.
You got a germaphobe right there.
Yeah, real. Like you could have farted and I don't know what your hands did. It's
Trolling
just like
ninja.
it could be watching a scary movie. I'm paranoid. I'm probably screaming at the movie, and you come behind me and try to
And it's over right there.
Exactly. Like it's gonna be some real ghost up in there.
You're not a guy to startle. I know that.
Yeah, I'm not. Ask Travis.
Wouldn't that be bad though? Like you're saying they should just off them. Like what would that say on your tombstone? Died during like died during Final Destination 4. Like who would want that on their goddamn tombstone?
Died during like Magic Mike. Now you're really like caught up like, man, what the hell is doing watching Magic Mike by himself? Like what's really going on? Movie wasn't that good. What's going on?
Janelle, I thought you had an idea about a voting system.
Yeah, we were thinking of like, if it was like an audience presentation where it was like, what was it, 1 versus 100 where everyone votes whether the person said a good joke or not, and then there'll be one angry bald dude in the front and be like,
like a Caesar.
Caesar.
The joke is weak. You automatically kicked out the theater.
Are you not entertained?
For life, it's over.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
They're not entertained. You gotta go.
Well, yeah, guys. I mean, there's some messed up stuff out there, but I think we're going to conclude our conversation with that, and that's all we have for this episode. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at Ultness, and also visit our website ultness.com. Please leave your comments about your best and worst movie-going experiences, and tune in next week when we will be discussing the future of portable gaming. As always, thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you next time. Shout outs to Timo, the RPG Lion, and Heroes Creed, my #1 stream viewer.
And keep rocking
Shout
in the free
out.
world and do.
So
zip it up and zip it out.
All right, zippity doo dah, bye bye. Escalated.
Wait. What's the thing?
You don't want to know. Just think about the word thing.
You don't want to see him when he's happy.
the thing.
Let's just say he's always hard.
He's not even a rock monster anymore. He's just a dude with erectile dysfunction. He's always rock hard.
It's reverse erectile dysfunction.
He's a regular dude, but he's running around in shorts with like a piece of lumber in his pants.
Just a boulder.
So bad.
Hey everyone, welcome.